Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. Today it is time for Tackle My TBR Shelf. So let's get started. I did really well last week. I finished off Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. This is book number 1. This ended up being really good. I was a little worried about it at first because this changes timeline from 2018, 1986. And when I got to the first 1986, I was a little confused. And I'm just like, ooh, what is going on? I don't understand any of this. But it did work out, and I did begin to understand it. And lots of mystery in this. You're following Andy in the 2018 and her mom Laura. And it's pretty much kind of their life together, and they're pretty close, and they go to this diner, I believe it's inside of a mall, and this horrific act occurs, and Andrea sees a completely different side of her mom that she never expected to see. And then there's other things that happen, and the same thing, Andrea's questioning who her mother is, which is why this is called Pieces of Her, because she's beginning to feel like she's only got pieces of her mom, and she wants to figure out what is going on. So in the 2018 timeline, you're pretty much following Andrea as she's discovering things. In the 1986 timeline, you are seeing pretty much Laura in the past, and that's all I'm going to say. And it really ended up being really good. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the mystery aspects of it. There's some thriller in there. And Karen Slaughter is just a really good writer, but she's a very in-depth writer, so keep that in mind if you want to pick this up. Book 2 is coming out, I believe it's in August, and it's called Girl Forgotten. And I will be getting that. At first I didn't think I was going to, because the confusion and everything in this book. But it ended up being really good. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm watching the series on Netflix covering this book. So yes, that is Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. And then I picked up Chris Carter, The Executioner. Chris Carter is a fabulous author from the UK. I love UK authors. He did not originate from UK though. He is from Brazil. And he's also lived over here in the States, in Los Angeles. And then he went to UK, and now he's a writer. And this series is amazing. He's a little bit more on the darker side. It's actually the Robert Hunter thriller series, and there's a lot of mystery in it too. His writing has kind of the vibes of Lincoln Rhyme by Jeffrey Deaver, or if you've watched the movie The Bone Collector, same thing. Everybody's very meticulous with the evidence, so every single piece of evidence is important. And I find that in here, and I love that because it gets the mind going. It gets you thinking, what is this for? What is this about? And in this one, this is book 2. In this one, you've got a serial killer. Most of them are serial killers. And he's writing the number on the bodies in blood, but it's from the blood of the previous victim. And so they're trying to piece this together, because when you read the first part, the very first thing is a really violent scene. And that victim does not match the first autopsy. So it gives you a little jump in there where you're not seeing victim number 1, you're seeing victim number 3. So it's written very well. He's such a great writer. It's very fluid. I love Robert Hunter. If you like those kind of mysteries where you're really involved and you're really trying to figure it out, you're going to love Chris Carter's writing. Like I said, it is on the darker side. There is a little bit more goriness to it, a little more violence. So keep that in mind before you pick this up. So yes, this is The Executioner by Chris Carter. Now the book that I'm working on, that I started last week, is The Girl in the Mirror. I started this, I want to say it was Friday I started it. I want to say it was Friday. This one was a little iffy for me in the beginning because it was really kind of slow. It's kind of setting up the family dynamic, which, let me tell you, is crazy. And you're learning about all the people. So that was a little bit slow for me until about page 70 to 80. It started to pick up. But in a book this small, which is only 304 pages in it, that can, you know, make or break the book. But it did start to pick up. I am like halfway through the book now, and I'm really enjoying it. In this story, you've got Summer and Iris, who are mirror twins, and it's really a thing. Like, the mirror twin is the opposite of the first twin. So they are identical in any way, just opposite sides. And they have this family, and their father divorces their mother, and he remarries Francine. And Francine already has an 8-year-old daughter. And then they do proceed to have other children, I believe. Anyway, when the twins are 14, Dad passes away. And the crazy thing about it is they're very well off. They're very well off. And they read Dad's will. And this is the crazy part. The will is $100 million goes to the first child to have an heir. They have to get married and have a child. The child cannot be born out of wedlock. They've got to be married, and they will get the $100 million. And the thing of it is, it can't be shared. And I'm like, what father does that to their children? And you got a step family over here now, and they're, you know, like, why? Why would you do that to your own children? And I'm kind of thinking it was a lesson or maybe a test. So Summer is like, I'm not going to rush love. I'm going to marry who I'm going to marry, and I'm going to love them. It's not going to be for the money. So Summer finds Adam, and they get married, and she doesn't tell him anything about the $100 million until after they're married. So she was definitely marrying for love, and Adam has his own child from a previous marriage where his wife had passed away. Iris, on the other hand, meets Noah, and she's like, hey, listen, we can have $100 million if we get married and we have a child. Of course, that marriage did not succeed. So Summer and Adam take, like, they want to take a year-long vacation, but his son gets sick. And they have a yacht, and it was the yacht that the girls grew up on, and somehow Summer ended up with the yacht. And they can't leave it docked. And it takes 2 people to man the yacht. So Summer and Iris decide they're going to move this yacht because their vacation was going to go into Africa is where they were heading. And I believe they're in Thailand. But they can't stay docked there, I guess laws or whatever. So Summer and Iris are going to man the yacht. And they learned from their dad, because they grew up on the yacht, that you always have one person who is alert and awake at all times. So they have to set up a system. Iris agrees to this, taking the yacht out, trying to make it to Africa with her sister. And so they set up their schedule. So Summer will be up manning till midnight. I mean, she'll stop in between there to make them food because Iris isn't the cook. Summer is. And then Iris will take over from midnight till dawn. So it's working out. They're rocking along. They're making it. They're out to the middle of the Indian Ocean. Okay? And Iris wakes up and it's daylight. Summer was supposed to wake her up at midnight, and there's sunlight coming in through the porthole of the yacht. So she goes out there, and Summer is nowhere to be seen. And that's all I'm going to tell you. All that is in the synopsis. I read it like a couple times to make sure that I'm not giving anything away. But you can imagine now where this story is going to go. Now, I have a lot of questions in my head right now of what actually happened and what is going to happen in the future. So I'm just going to leave it for you guys to pick this book up and read it. Just know that the middle part, or the beginning part, is a little slow with this, the setting up the story, the plot line, the family dynamic, and all that. But it did pick up, and now I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm halfway through. I want to finish this today, but I know we got a few plans, so we'll see what happens with that. But I would really like to finish this today. And that, you guys, is what I read last week for Tackle My TBR Shelf. I think I did really good. I'm going to keep on with this. I hope you guys are enjoying what you're reading. Let me know if you've read any of these books. I would really be interested to know what you think of them. But that is it for me, guys. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.